Today we've got 20 crazy videos of crashes, funny moments, and unbelievable stories. Buckle up! Robbie was driving his Model 3 westbound on Highway 4 in Concord, California. Traffic came to a complete stop, and so did Robbie, but the car behind him didn't. Robbie's Tesla was rear-ended, causing it to spin around. He hit the Hyundai in front of him and the Prius to his left before he rolled into the barrier. The driver of the Dodge didn't see the traffic had stopped until he was just a car's length away from Robbie. That's when the driver locked up his brakes before hitting Robbie at full speed. Incredibly, everyone involved was able to walk away from the accident. Unfortunately, Robbie had to be taken to the hospital by ambulance for some of his injuries. He was able to show the police his Teslacam video while waiting for the ambulance to arrive. Robbie is now dealing with his insurance claim, and his car has been deemed a total loss. Once everything is settled, he'll be ordering a new Tesla since, according to him, his Model 3 saved his life. Mo was driving his Model 3 on the Gardiner Expressway in Toronto, Canada, when a BMW 3 Series came weaving between lanes. As the BMW driver cut him off, Mo thought to himself, this guy's going to cause an accident before long. Unfortunately, he caused an accident immediately. He rear-ended the taxi in front of Mo, sending it crashing into the bridge's guardrails. For a moment, Mo thought that the taxi was going to fall down under the bridge, but it ended up coming back and rolling across the 3 lanes of the highway. Mo stopped and ran over to see if everyone was okay. Even though he wasn't too far away, he says it felt like the run took forever as he was stepping on car debris and other personal items that had fallen out of the taxi. By the time he got there, the passenger had crawled out through the rear window. She appeared very shaken, but otherwise okay. A number of people, including the driver of the BMW, were working on peeling back the windshield to free the taxi driver. He was okay once he finally got out. Police arrived shortly after, and after assessing the situation, Mo had a chance to show a police officer his Teslacam footage. The police officer called later that evening to thank him for the video, and he informed Mo that those involved in the accident had only suffered minor injuries. That's a miracle considering what happened. Christian was driving his Model 3 in Fort Worth, Texas, while following behind a Model Y with Colorado plates. Just as he was considering taking a road trip in his Tesla, the Model Y crashed right in front of him. A car had pulled out from a side street, and we've got to say, the placement of that bus stop really made it hard to see around that corner. Christian pulled over to check on both drivers, and they were both fine. Christian was able to send them his Teslacam footage. Kitara was on a 4-lane highway when, right in front of her, someone came from the left lane pushing a lawnmower of all things toward the pickup truck in front of her. Kitara says, it's hard to tell what was going on here. I think it's time for another joke competition. Whoever posts the best joke about why this guy was mowing a highway in the comments will win this epic Wham Bam hoodie. Alex was driving his Model 3 in Dallas, Texas. Check out what happened on his right just as he passed a car on his left. A horse rider jumped into the street and Alex had to fight his impulse to hit the brakes. Instead, he accelerated to get past the car on his left so he could swerve away from the horse. Nice driving, Alex. We have no idea where that horse came from. Jaybird was making his way through traffic when the van on his left suddenly burst into flames. The van started to pull over to the shoulder, and Jaybird followed to make sure they got out okay. The fire department was called immediately. Jaybird didn't stay long since it was unsafe for him to stay parked on the freeway. The van was still on fire when he left. Dan was driving his Model 3 in Vancouver, Canada, when an Infiniti blew through a stop sign, turned across 3 lanes, and smashed into him. The Infiniti impacted both of Dan's right side doors and ruined one of his wheels. The insurance company determined the Infiniti driver was at fault. Dan's Tesla has been in the repair shop for just over a month, with a few more weeks to go as they wait for replacement parts. This submitter has a home surveillance camera mounted on his garage, and it gives us a great view of an Amazon delivery driver arriving in a rented van before crashing into his neighbor's Model Y. The submitter contacted his neighbors and told them he had a clear image of the license plate, and the neighbors contacted Amazon. The repair estimate came in at $13,000 US. This submitter was driving his Model 3 in Woodbridge, Virginia, when the driver of a Ford F-150 wouldn't let them pass. The submitter backed off since they had no idea what the pickup driver was up to. They tried to pass again a few moments later. The driver of the pickup kept blocking and brake checking them. Suddenly, he pulled out onto the shoulder and let them pass. That's when the submitter hit the juice pedal and put some distance between them. The submitter called the police and gave them the pickup's license plate number, but they haven't heard anything back. Maximilian was driving his Model 3 on a freeway in Lakewood, California, when a cone came flying out from under the car in front of him, nailing the front of his Tesla. His Tesla is wrapped, and now he'll have to rewrap the front. It's not worth filing an insurance claim since rewrapping will cost less than his deductible, so the money will have to come out of his bad luck account. Tony was traveling westbound on Highway 40 through Plainfield, Indiana, when the drivers of a Hyundai and a pickup truck ran the red lights and crashed. Tony wanted to ask our viewers to determine who's at fault. The driver of the truck told the police that the young Hyundai driver pulled out in front of them while they had a green light. This isn't true, as we can clearly see the light had turned red. Nobody was seriously injured, and Tony was able to provide his footage to the Plainfield Police Department. He's glad he showed the cops this footage, since the account of the accident given by those involved was inaccurate. Ryan was driving his Model Y in Birmingham, Alabama, when he was hit by a Toyota that drifted into him. The other driver looked like he was making a run for it, so Ryan started to pursue him. Ultimately, the other driver had to stop because of the severe damage to their suspension and steering. The driver stated that they'd fallen asleep while driving. Ryan's Tesla was only 3 days old at the time, and it sustained over $14,000 US in damage. Ryan is just thankful that the other driver wasn't injured in the crash. Here's a map showing where Ryan was hit, the path he took while pursuing, and where the other driver finally stopped. Janet and Ernest were pulling into a parking lot to grab some coffee. As they started to back into a parking spot, they didn't notice a Honda also trying to back out of their parking spot. When they realized the Honda was about to hit them, Janet stopped and honked. The Honda barely kissed their Tesla before fleeing. Fortunately, they couldn't find any damage to their Tesla. Should we categorize this as a Honda kiss? What do you guys think? Janet and Ernest want to give a shout out to their friend Jeffrey, who's a Tesla owner and longtime subscriber to this channel. He has no idea his friends experienced a Honda kiss. Hey there, Jeffrey! Xavier was waiting at a red light late one night when he saw a car on the opposite side speeding down the street. They failed to slow down at the red light, and all of a sudden he heard a loud crash. Albin has had his new Model 3 Performance since June of 2021, and everything was going well until October. That's when he got into a collision with a bus that had merged into his lane mid-turn. The bus hit his driver's side rear door and quarter panel. Repairs cost about $7,000 US, and his Tesla spent a month in the shop getting the door and quarter panel replaced. Albin took the opportunity to order a new Tesla in red, since his only regret with his first Tesla was getting one in gray. He can now sell his original Tesla for more than he bought it for, thanks to its crazy resale value. Albin waited until December to pick up his new Model 3 in red. A month and a half went by, and on February 8th, he got into another accident where the exact same thing happened. Albin was driving down the road in moderate traffic when someone tried to cut into his lane, hitting his driver's side rear door and quarter panel again. Albin called the police when the man who'd hit him refused to give him his information. Even though the guy admitted fault right away, he said that Albin would have to call the cops to get his information. Albin obliged, and the police came and filed a report. He showed the responding officer the video, and he immediately determined that the other driver was at fault. Afterward, the police officer came back, as he'd been super impressed by the Tesla. He proceeded to ask questions about it and its many cameras. Right there at the scene of the accident, Albin gave him a full tour of the car. A drunk man attempted to urinate on the Honda in front of Deep Value's Model S, but he stopped when the Sentry Mode laser was activated. Rob was driving his Model 3 with autopilot engaged when the boyfriend of the driver in the car ahead of him jokingly waved the driver's new iPhone out the window. He ended up accidentally dropping it while they were going about 50 miles per hour. Autopilot didn't react in any way, and the phone ended up leaving a scratch on Rob's headlight. The guy went walking back to search for the remains of the iPhone, but the girl looked so furious that Rob isn't sure if she waited for him to come back or if she just drove off and left him there. After Rob checked his Tesla for damage, he wished them all the best in repairing their relationship and took off. Kate was driving south on US Route 75 in Texas when she saw a bright shooting star. She says she wished for a Tesla Roadster, but she wished even harder that you'd subscribe to our channel. Aw, thanks, Kate. Patrick heard a bang, looked to his left, and saw a duck flying away. There was no damage to the car, and hopefully only a small hit to the duck's pride. John was driving his Model Y home in Oakland, California. Take a look at what he witnessed as he approached a stop sign. There were pedestrians crossing when a dog decided that the best place to take a poop was in the middle of the intersection. The owner then had to pick up the poop with a line of cars waiting for them. This week's episode is dedicated to the memory of Leon Reynoso. Leon was driving his Model 3 home after having lunch with his friends in Palm Springs, Florida, when he was rear-ended by an intoxicated driver that already had prior DUI convictions. This accident resulted in Leon's passing. Leon's fiancée Amber contacted us and told us he is survived by two boys ages 7 and 17 who loved watching Wham Bam Teslacam with him every week. We're guessing you might no longer want to watch our channel, but if you see this, know that your mom loves you very much, and from what we've been told, your father was something special. Leon served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 2003 to 2011 when he was honorably discharged. He was the president of a car club in Southern California called Unlabeled, and he loved his Tesla Model 3. The driver at fault pled not guilty on December 30th of 2021. The investigation is ongoing, and the suspect is being held on $2 million bail. Amber didn't tell us about this, but we found a GoFundMe page while browsing news articles. Leon's brother set it up to help Amber pay for the unexpected funeral expenses. If you've got $1 to spare, we know it would go a long way toward helping the Reynoso family.